live. Gotta put it in Discord. Painting. Oh, I'm painting. Put some 40K. Oh man, I only have one webcam, so getting to my keyboard and stuff is a mess. So hopefully, once we get started, we won't have to switch screens around or anything. Paint night. Okay, paint night. Come hang and chill. I forgot to. Ooh, my keyboard is a. There we go. Ooh. The other struggle is gonna be the autofocus. I can't do it. It's not good. I have to manually focus. Well, hopefully we'll be able to find a nice happy spot for that. But yeah. I've been pretty behind on my painting. Trying to catch back up. I'm really stuck on a Warhammer, or not Warhammer, Magic the Gathering. Spent like a whole year doing Warhammer. I painted a full Death Guard army, and it looks very good. I think there are pictures in the Discord back then. I think I posted there. I don't see why I wouldn't have. So today we're painting a Penitent Engine, which is a Sisters of Battle piece. It is a guy strapped to a robot. To get the focus right, robot machine. So we're gonna be probably painting the robot machine parts first, and then going back through to work on the guy. The guy should be. I don't think he'll be too bad. The thing about painting the actual like people and skin is it ends up being as good as you make it, which is like the more time you put into it, the better it ends up. The more layers you add on of like the right stuff, the better it ends up looking. You just put on like 2 different kinds of paint and then go over it in like a contrast to really get like the edges and the ripples and the muscles. It ends up looking really like pretty good. And then if you add even more to that with contrast and stuff, it ends up looking even better. But we're not gonna worry about that part today. He's got some wires, which we're probably gonna do like red and green. I'm thinking maybe copper. We do have copper as an option coming out of his head. But I think right now we're going to focus on the big details like the arms, the body. I'm wondering if I should start inside out or go outside in. Starting is always the hard part. Once you get going, it's going. We're really just looking at it here to like envision like what colors are we gonna go for here, like with everything. You can't just paint it all one solid color of metal. That's weird. Like it's not gonna look, I mean, it'll be presentable on the table, sure, but you know, we're trying to get something to look nice. It's gonna look weird when it's done. Some of these blow me away with like just the quality of paints we're working with nowadays. So I think the best place to start is the arms and the legs, I think. Or is it gonna be like going in? I'm trying to think about this real quick. So I'm wondering if I go inside out. If I go outside in, I have a chance of nicking the outside parts as I'm like trying to get the inner. So maybe the best thing to do would be to paint the side first. What I do need to see is like, what do I want these to look like? Penitent, and I'm going for box art on a lot of these. So the Penitent engines are okay. They're like a dirty silver. I didn't know if they were black. I know some people paint them like, well, I'm gonna go with gunmetal, I think. And then it looks like they have some copper affix. And is that flames on the shoulder? They do. They have little torches on the shoulder up here. See, they have little torches here. So we'll need to make sure we get those also. So yeah. Ooh, all right. I have some here to start with. Starting with. Well, I kind of have a choice. It's either gonna be between the rough iron or the gunmetal by the war paints. I think we're gonna go with the gunmetal though. I think that's a better color. We can always go back over it with like a watered down rough iron after, if we really want to tone it down. But we'll, yeah, it's we gotta start. We have to get, you gotta get paint on there before you can start doing the next layer of paint, right? So you can't correct your mistakes if you haven't made any mistakes to correct yet. Keep moving this around, it'll help. I really like working with metallic paint because it really just totally changes the look of the, even like the texture. And make sure this starts to settle, make sure there's enough water in here. Looks like it should settle okay. I guess we can always just do another layer if it doesn't, but going all the right direction. A little trick: if you start to get lines or streaks, you go the opposite direction with the second layer. It should eliminate those like streaks. You'll see. As you can see, there's a little streaking on it. It's might just need a little bit more water. I'm using a wet palette as well. I'm wondering, so here's where we're gonna see. I think the gunmetal might end up being a little too shiny. I thought it'd be toned down because it's gunmetal, but yeah, see, this one came out a lot less streaky. We added a little bit more water. I can get it right. Yeah, there. I mean, it still looks like metal as it should. It's like brushed metal, but this side came out a lot more streaky. I mean, it's the first dips. You can go fix right now by going up or down. Gotta start somewhere. Oh, you know what? Let me fix something too. I can't really mute here. I'll have to do it with my phone. Let me turn my lights up a bit. Yeah, I'm definitely above the audio. Devices. There we go. A little better. Oh yeah, it's a lot better for the camera. A little better for my eyes. It's too far. The trick of trying to get it under the camera while trying to keep it in a place where I can kind of see these smaller parts together. Yeah, I feel like I'm definitely gonna have to go over this gunmetal in like a darker color. Maybe black. Maybe just water down black will do it. Might lose some of the sheen, or going over it in like that rough iron, but like we're just watering it down a lot, so the gunmetal still like comes through. Because I like the inherent like base of the gunmetal. I like that a lot. But I don't like just like how bright it is. Like I just need it to be toned down a little bit. But like, let's get it all on there, or at least in some spots, and we can try out some like darker stuff. We'll be cutting up chaos in no time. How's he doing? He's doing okay. He's really bright. These flat panels too are a little tricky to get the brush strokes out. There we go. Yeah, big flat panels are always hard because they're gonna have to show brush strokes real hard, especially on bigger models like this. So. And this one's kind of weird because it's like not big enough to warrant an airbrush. Not that I would do that on stream anyway, because I have a whole indoor hood for it, and it just you're not getting a camera in that without getting it all messed up. Part of me's almost thinking of moving it. Yeah. Oh, you want to talk about nurgling noises? my first army is actually Death Guard. I painted it up last year. I got the whole thing finished, but yeah, I've got some happy nurglings over there. Welcome in, bubonic plague. But yeah, Death Guard is my numero uno. I had a hell of a time doing Mortarion. He took me like a couple months to do for Mortarion. He was a lot. I had to break him down by pieces and everything. Like I resined his base to give it like a water effect on it. Turned out really nice. It took a long time, but it was like worth the effort. Like I really like the way Mortarion turned out, and God, yeah, he's brutal. It's gonna be a while before I do like I think like a big guy. I think that the next biggest thing I have to do that's like Mortarion-esque is gonna be what is it? The Triumph of St. Catherine. That's gonna be like a Mortarion level paint job where it's gonna take a while to get through the Triumph of St. Catherine. It's got like 9 sisters on it. It's got all the little tile pieces that need to be like individually painted tile. That at least I don't have to work with resin on it, which would be nice because I did do resin for Mortarion, and I did not like working with resin because it's toxic. So you have to wear a mask whenever you work with resin, and it's super poisonous, super toxic. You have to wear gloves and a mask and be in a well ventilated area. And yeah, it spills out where you contain it, especially if you're doing on the base. It's now it's just a question of are you a Death Guard guy or are you a Demons guy? There's 2 different ways to do that. There's 2 different ways to be stinky in Warhammer. You can are you a Demon stinky or are you a Death Guard stinky? Yeah, so that's the real question. Are you a Death Guard stinky or are you a Nurgle Demon stinky? They're both valid answers, but I'm very touch and go when I do my brush strokes. Probably why my brushes get so messed up. I don't like doing long lines. I like doing like a motion, and like it makes me feel better. And I'll break 1,000 brushes. It works. The process, it works. I don't know. I don't think there's a right or wrong way on that. But if it works, it works. But yeah, oh man, I love working with metallic paints though. Because like it's so cool. Look at this thing. This is plastic. It looks like plastic. When you prime it, it looks like you have a plastic toy. But then you go back over in the metallics. This looks like a metal. This looks like a real metal. This is just painted plastic. But like, I have had friends pick this up and they're like, "That's not metal." I'm like, "Nah, dude, it's just plastic I painted." Like, it's still plastic. But man, yeah, working with metallics is so fun just to see like the transformation. I might go over. Yeah, I want to go over kind of gently. I kind of like the black being in the recesses here. It really like elevates the metal pieces. I think. Like just that having that undercoat of black in the seams of the metal. It's kind of how it looks in real life. So I guess that's also why I'm kind of touch and go on these two. Kind of gives it that when you feather the paint over it like that, it kind of lets you keep those dark crevices in a lot of places. That elevates it a little bit. And look at that cool metal foot. Look at his cool metal foot. He's having the time of his life. Look, he's having so much fun being... How much fun he's having. Who wouldn't want to be strapped into this baby and start wreaking havoc? Be getting his foot? Yeah, it's okay. Maybe you should like capture there. Boop, 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 boop. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, I love these metallics here. Very good. I think I turned my like avatar bubbles off. It runs through Discord, so it only bounces around when I'm like, if I'm muted in Discord, he don't bounce on, he don't light up when I talk. Right in there. Let me see if we, yeah. All things considered, I've you know, for the first time holding it in front of the camera, I feel like it's going pretty well. Look at that. But yeah, my first army Death Guard, second army Sisters, which are, you know, I had some times painting Death Guard because Death Guard has a lot of baubles. There is a lot of baubles and stuff on Death Guard. I'm trying to get an angle right here. And I thought that was kind of hell. And then like Sisters don't have as much baubles. I'm not gonna complain there. They do have baubles, but they're pretty easy to paint. They're not bad. What is like Sisters have a lot of just details. Like if you want to paint their capes and stuff, oh man, it is like 5 colors of red on each side of their capes. Might have one. Maybe I put it up. I thought I had one that I think, but man, they are like painting their capes and stuff is a lot different. But I like them. I was almost gonna go for a third, but I got pretty burnt out painting Death Guard all year. I had to take like a little, basically like Magic the Gathering break, where I just got really into Magic for a little bit and then got back into painting. That's how it goes. I don't know. I feel like that's kind of the best way to get your groove back. Because if you're out of it and you're like forcing it, you're gonna hate it. You're gonna hate whatever you're doing by the end of it. You're just not going to do it anymore, period. If you're not feeling it, just put the brush down and go do something else, and you'll feel it again. That's my strat for Burnout. So far, it's been okay. It just feels really bad when you're like looking at your pile and you're like, I need to paint it, but I don't feel like it, so I won't, because that's what's best for my brain. But yeah, I think I've taken like 7 months off from painting. Something like that. I spent a whole year doing the entire Death Guard army just back to back to back to back, just cranking it out. And it looks really nice. I spent a lot of time on each one. Gotta paint his like crotch guard down here. I don't know what this part of the robot's for. He's got like a guard. But I don't know for. I guess he's got some mechanical parts back here. He's trying to keep the gore out of? Question mark? I have to assume that's it. But I want to do the Grey Knights or Necrons if I ever do a third army. Both very easy to paint, so that's like a big ups at that point. If Grey Knights gets a refresh, I'm going for it. Like, I'm buying Grey Knights if they ever do a refresh. Until then, like, if they never get a refresh and they just get dumped or whatever, it's Necrons. I did Necrons back in high school. Or not in high school, like right after getting out of high school. So I needed money for a job for Warhammer. Like, oh, cool, I have money now. I'm going to go play Warhammer. That's what people with money play. And I don't know. Internet was different back then. There wasn't as many resources to learn how to paint and stuff. So Like, it didn't turn out great. I don't even think I watered down my paints. I just had these like weird clumpy Necrons that you could kind of see the plastic underneath. It was bad. I remember painting the big triangle pyramid thing they use. I don't remember the name of it. And I painted it white by like hand. It took me forever to paint. First off, by hand like that. Like, if I was doing it nowadays, I would just prime it the main color I want and then like go back and do the details. But I hand painted it. It was so thin. The paint was so thin, and it was white, which is white's already a notorious color to work with. And it was like 2012, 2013 paint colors. Little band there. Fan bot. But yeah, it was bad. It was so thin and gross and awful, and I'm pretty sure people were laughing at me when I put it on the table. Like, that's how bad the paint job was, and I knew it was bad too. It wasn't like I'm super proud of this, I did a good job. I'm just like, I don't know how to make it good. This is the best I got. It's painted, it's bad, let's play the game. And then, like, you know, I was still young, so in between jobs I had to sell the whole army because I needed money. And so I sold the whole thing, and I don't think I want it back though, if that makes sense. Like, I wouldn't, if someone gave it back to me, sure, like, yo, I have your army, here it is, I'd take it. But I wouldn't like, oh, you found my army, I wanna buy it back at like any kind of price. Like, it's good, it's gone, it wasn't painted very well. But that's why I'd want to play Necrons again, though, to do like a redemption arc on it. I've already painted Death Guard. I would have already done Sisters. So going back and doing Necrons would be super easy, especially with like what I know now as far as painting. I need some more palette. Put him down in a way that doesn't break him. And there you go. But yeah, Necrons are a long-term redemption arc, eventually. I don't know if I could ever go over 3 armies though. Storage space is already a lot for 1 army. 2 is gonna be, I have the space, but it's gonna be, I'm gonna have to move some stuff around. I don't even know where I'd put a 3rd army. Like, I don't know how I do with the storage like for it. Like, you want to lay them all out, you want to have them on display. Like, they are art at the end of the day. I don't know. I think of the models more as art pieces than I do as like game pieces. It's not like a Magic deck. Like, even my favorite Magic deck is still just like, it's got a nice deck box and it's tucked away. Like, I don't have everything out on display, but with a Warhammer, you gotta have like, I mean, I think you should like have it in an accessible place where people can go and look at it and stuff. I mean, you know, you put work into it. It's art. Like a painting or drawing. I don't see how it's any different. Yeah. Sometimes I think it's, you know, I learned a lot painting and stuff, and I started off on a really good foot doing like a lot of like, my advice is just find a tutorial and stick with it. Like, find a tutorial for a model you want to paint and just do it verbatim. Like, literally just pause it, buy the paints that they tell you they're using, and just do it exactly. Just find a tutorial and a scheme you like. That's, I think, the best place to start. A little thicker. Because you'll learn a bunch just from painting that first model and following the instructions of whatever artist, even though it'll probably have way more steps and be way more complicated than you will do in the future. Like, I don't paint my models like the same as like a tutorial artist would. I paint them kind of close. I follow the general steps. But I'm not gonna go through and do like the extra shading. I'll do shading and everything like that. I'm not gonna do the extra shading and the extra highlighting, just like to that there's a point where it's like a super subtle difference on it where I'm just like, hey, what up? Hey, good to see you. Yeah, good to see you, Pedro. I saw you sub last time after I logged out. I appreciated that. Or not sub, but follow last time. I was like, oh, I got one. Cool. I am painting a penitent engine for Warhammer 40k. This is a Warhammer 40k is a bunch of factions. You buy the minis, you put them together, and then you paint them and you play with them. I think the rules for the game to play with them, you get like extra points to start if your army is painted. So it like behooves you to show up with a painted army. It's encouraged to play with a painted army that has to have, I think the rule is at least 3 colors to it. But yeah, like the community encourages you to have like at least basically like nice looking models. That's like the whole. But this is a penitent engine, which is the guy, probably against his will if I had to guess. He is probably does some sort of crime or wrong think against the Emperor of Mankind in 40k. They strap him to a big robot. They plug his brain into it, which, as far as I'm aware, this causes him like pain, distress, and torture, rages him up, and then he gets to pilot around this mech on the battlefield. They let him loose on the battlefield while he's all crazied up. But we're painting him up today. But we're gonna paint some of him. It's probably gonna be a couple sessions to get him done. We're just doing the base layer, which is like the metal, on his robot right now. Trying to get in all these little crevices. The last thing we're gonna do is paint the man inside, because he's gonna be a little bit more complicated. Obviously, he's gonna be a little roughed up. He's a little bit of a prisoner, so he's gonna have sort of this like gray skin, and you're gonna do some, what is it, like shading to like really define his muscles. You can see he's got like his collarbone here. He's got you can see like actual muscles, so you actually need special contrast to like highlight that, so it'll look flat. Oh, it was Guardian. Yo, welcome back. Yeah, it's been a while. I got caught in a Warhammer hole. Is what happened. I took like a Christmas break that just kind of turned into an indefinite break. And then like towards the spring, I picked up Warhammer and just did that. Like like right now, if you could see it, I only have the same one webcam. My webcam is strapped on top of a Magic the Gathering Commander deck box, pointing down at my painting mat that I normally use. So like I've got kind of like a jury rig set up here, just because like I just felt like coming back and streaming again some more. I think I got burned out a lot last time too, because I was just streaming too much, and also streaming way too much of the same thing, which was like a lot of Master Duel. And the other part of it that kind of sucked is like right towards the end of it, I stopped playing Master Duel, and I started getting back into like Magic the Gathering a lot. And Magic is just not as like good to stream as Master Duel. Master Duel is like a much better game to stream. You can open up like lobbies and like actually play with viewers and stuff like that, which is a lot of fun. But Arena just doesn't function as well, and also Arena's just not as good as like paper Magic. It's so that also sort of hindered stuff a bit. But yeah, I was like, at least streaming something. I think I did last week was just some No Man's Sky to test everything was still working. So I just want to make sure everything was still working again. And it was. I actually didn't have to change any of my streaming stuff. That was funny. I literally just opened up OBS, and like everything still worked. All the little like icons still worked, and I was like, oh yeah, all right, I'll do it. I'll start streaming again. If I don't have to set anything back up, I'm down. So it's just gonna be when I feel like it, though. Kind of all I got. I got so burned out before. So I basically was doing it like I would get off work, immediately start streaming. Like, even though I was only streaming a couple times a week, it was just, bro. Yeah, for a shitty affection game, Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel is an excellent client. Yeah, like, I just, God, I don't like that Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a 2-turn game. That's my only beef with it, like, or my biggest beef with it is it's so fast. It's one person builds a castle and the other person has to knock it down. And I'm not, even in Magic, I'm not the craziest combo player. So like having to remember all the paths and stuff to like make your guy like pop off or your deck pop off, like having to remember all the crazy cards you have to like pull this one pulls this one, which pulls this one, which pulls this one. Like I'm not very good at that. Wasn't like the best at that. And yeah, I like the slower pace of Magic. I like being able to, it's kind of, you know, like you're playing a little bit more chess oriented stuff. But yeah, it does not stream well, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm gonna be probably doing more stuff like this, just kind of whatever. I feel like I also got kind of boxed into only doing Yu-Gi-Oh! So when I was like not, you know, kind of getting away from it, I'm like, I don't know what I can stream. I don't think anyone, everybody just kind of shows up for Yu-Gi-Oh! So I'm just like, oh, I don't know. It was a lot of that together. But now I'm just like, yeah, fuck it, I don't care anymore. I'll just stream whatever. It's cool. I've been out long enough, and you know what, you get to keep partner on here. And we've still been in like the Discord the Discord's still up. We still use it. I've been using it the whole time. I know we have like some private channels and stuff, but I do use the Discord a bunch. As quiet as it may seem, we actually do have a lot of eyes on the Discord. We're in a tier 0 format again, so I wouldn't blame you for stepping away just for that. Yeah, I still have some friends too who are still like into it, and they tell me about it. I think they were trying to get into Magic when the Final Fantasy sets dropped, and we were like trying to teach people, and the Yu-Gi-Oh players weren't about it. They didn't get it. They were like, oh, it's too slow. Like, it's the Magic's too slow, and I don't get it. How come I can't just play all my cards? I'm like, no, you gotta tap the lands, and you can play a card. And they're like, I don't like this. I don't like this. I want to play all my cards. I don't know. It's not fair. It's not fair. I'm just like, oh no. But yeah, going back over doing this. I have a TikTok that doesn't post a lot, but it pops off sometimes over there. I don't want to be like a TikTok guy per se, but. And then I think Soikum still around. He wanted to set up a. He came back from Japan, but he wanted to do a podcast, which I've had a podcast before. I had my own podcast that I set up that short-lived, that covered RPG books. I think it's still on Spotify. Called Meta Magic, the RPG podcast. It is still on Spotify, but it was very short-lived. But yeah, it seems I don't know. Like, podcasts are fine. I'll do whatever. I don't mind. I'll talk. People like say I have a nice voice, and I'll talk. I'm a yapper, so whatever. But I do feel like a podcast is like a 2012 idea. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like the time to get popular with podcasts is long past. If you don't have someone like famous on there, you're like, you know, but it's whatever. It's fun. I don't mind talking for fun. That's covering a game like you is pretty jarring. It's look at all these cool cards I have. If only I could actually play them. Yeah, that's how. Yeah, that is the feeling in Magic. We're like, oh, I want to play this cool thing. I'm like, well, I don't think I put these on backwards, did I? No, they're just, I think they were already on there. It matters. Like looking at his back thing, and I'm like, I hope I didn't put them on backwards, but. But yeah, for reference, I mean, I spent a lot of time learning to paint. I can go grab one. It's on the other side of the room. Give me 1 second. I can get a. So like, this is the kind of shit I've been on while I was gone. I can at least say that the time away was not wasted. I really did take a lot of time to like learn how to paint and do some cool stuff. Get the focus a little bit, like I can autofocus it a little better. I'm not using autofocus, so I gotta manually do it on purpose. So yeah, like this is the kind of shit I've been on. Like I really did take a lot of time to learn how to paint. And you can't really see his armor is actually like bright green. It's a special kind of like paint that reflects color. Like it shifts colors, but you can't really see because of it goes from brown to green. You can kind of see it, but stuff like that. I've been working on stuff like this. Like I've been really yeah. I did post them up in the Discord. Like I really spent a lot of time really like learning how to paint really well. So like I can at least say I've got that out of my belt. I haven't just been at least while offline doing nothing and just giving up on life or anything like that. So yeah, I got a couple of these guys, and the focus is like, figure out which way to do it. Yeah, got a couple of these guys, but yeah, I got a whole case of them. I had to do a lot of them, but like he's gonna look like that soon in a second. He's next, so we're working on right now. But yeah, it's a very it's a fun hobby. I never painted before this either, so it's also kind of a little bit of a trip. Like, I guess I'm good at it. I don't know, my mom did a lot of painting. Second guy, I can't see him being effective in any kind of serious conflict. Yeah, that's fair. Are you talking about the guy with the scythe, or are you talking about the guy with the lawnmower in front? This guy with the lawnmower? Yeah, he's kind of just there for fun. Especially in something like Warhammer, where you have like Space Marine shooting guns, and then you have this big lawnmower guy. I make sure I get the camera on what we're painting here. The lawnmower, yeah. He's called a bloat drone, if I'm not mistaken. And that is a plague mower that he has on front of him. But this guy's a different faction entirely. Those ones I just showed you, those are Death Guard, and they are they're like a a demon faction. They're like part demon, part space marine. Like they used to be space marines, they turned evil or turned evil. And their whole deal is being stinky. Like they are fall under the god of like pestilence and disease. That's why they're all like green and gross. These ones, as fucked up as this guy looks, these are the quote unquote good guys. Yeah, right? It's just like regular lawnmower blades. I don't think they're gonna do anything to power armor either. I guess the idea behind it is they use warp, which is basically just warp is just Warhammer code for magic. So like I don't know, maybe the warp shenanigans do something, but yeah, it just kind of you do get a roll ass load of dice when it hits you in the game though. I do wish we could cover this in more than one color. I'm gonna try and get a second coat on here to even out this gunmetal because it's very bright. Unfortunately, this is just, hey, this is where you start, man. When you get a new model, you prime it, and then you get the big areas out of the way so you can go back and do the cool, fun stuff. So, although, you know, part of me is very happy with doing the this stuff because it's easy. Getting these big areas silver is gonna be the easy part. The hard part is going to be coloring this guy's teeth and nose and pectoral muscles and doing the muzzle burn on the flamethrower. Like that's gonna be the stuff that's hard. It will still be fun, but it will not be just globbing silver all over big flat panels. So I'm savoring it while it lasts at the very least, though it is not very cool or the most interesting place. It is just the place you start, unfortunately. So, but for those just coming in, I would be happy to answer any hobby questions or even any lore questions. Got really into Warhammer over the last year. I've read a lot of the novels and stuff too. I went full send. Or even like, you know, any questions about my painting, I don't mind. How to paint, how to start, how to eat the models. You want to crunch them in your mouth as a delicious, fun treat. That is a thing you can do. If you want to know which paints are the tastiest to slurp down after a long, hard day of painting, that I've got you there as well. Nothing better than taking a big... Well, I'm on the wrong side of the camera. Nothing better than taking a big swig of Nuln Oil at the end of a hard day's work of painting and just getting lit on Nuln Oil. Just completely shutting down your liver with so much Nuln Oil. It's so tasty and delicious. It's good for you. Good for your body. I'm somewhat familiar with the Mechanicus because even I got caught up in the hype of that sick trailer. Yes. I know there was an event called the Horse Heresy. That's about the limit of my Warhammer knowledge. But boy, do I envy you. Because I have so much stuff. Yeah. In short, like, the Mechanicus are pretty cool. They are on the Imperium side. We'll just call them the good guys for the sake of short explanation. Really, there are no good guys in Warhammer, but we'll leave it at that. They are a cult, and they worship machines. Their belief is that all technology has already been discovered, and that like creating new tech is like heresy. Though some may, and the cult may tell you otherwise, but they're almost like contractors to like the Imperium of Man, to like the Space Marines and the regular army. If you have anything electronic, if you have your power armor, your guns, if anything mechanical, really, your guns, your power armor, your computers, your ships, it can only be repaired by them. Only they know how to do it. Yeah, because there's bad guys and less bad guys, basically. Yep, more or less. Only they can repair it. They have the that's like part of their agreement with like being part of the Imperium, is that they get first dibs and all priority over all tech, and it's their knowledge. So like they kind of also have to be appeased, and everyone thinks they're very weird and odd. They definitely replace parts of their body with, you know, machines when they can, and they don't like AI. So that is the one, like the one based part, is they also do not like AI. It is considered an abomination and heresy to use AI in anything. So that is why you have people like this piloting this thing instead of just a robot, because putting an AI in this robot is that's bad. That's heresy. You can't use AI. That's why you have those little floating robot skulls called servitors. You take a human head, you load it up with circuitry and stuff, and that way the brain is like the CPU and of controlling things. So there's always like a human brain or some kind of human component as like a safety net to a lot of their electronics that they use in like the 40K world. But that's essentially the Mechanicum. They're cool. They have really cool red robes that they wear all the time. They do have a faction in the tabletop. You can buy and play the Mechanicum, Adeptus Mechanicus. You can play them. It is a their own full thing. Just like the Sisters. The Sisters of Battle, so these are also part of the Imperium as well, but they have their own thing. Much more ethical to strap a guy to your war machine. Oh yeah, we throw ethics out the window when Warhammer's on the table. But yeah, that's why it's really like fucked up and unethical shit that they do, is because they're like, we can't use like true AI. They're afraid of it, they hate it. So like we use the humans for everything, or like some kind of human counterpart. The servitors they use, which are just like robot, I guess, they're not really like, they're like robot slaves. Basically they just lobotomize people, and they take off their arms and legs and replace them with like robots, and then make it so they can do like simple command. They're really just rewiring your brain into into literally a CPU. Like you don't get much. Supposedly you have awareness, but that's about all you get when you're stuck like that. And that's what they do with most of their, like, or pretty much everything they do with like servitors. Servitors can be little skulls that just float around and help you. They can be actual like people with robot arms and legs that have been lobotomized. And then the Horus Heresy is essentially, there were like 18 Space Marine factions, and half of them went traitor. I think it was 10,000 years before Warhammer started, so technically 30K for Warhammer's 40K, 10,000 years ago. So Warhammer's 10,000 years after half the Space Marines like went traitor, and they went traitor to the gods of chaos, who are extra dimensional beings. That's probably the best way to put it. Gods of chaos are extra dimensional beings who are created through like the feelings and emotions of like people. And they have, basically they can mess you up mentally and physically. They can like warp you around and change your body and stuff like that. So that's the Horus Heresy. Horus was the guy who led it. I think that's probably, I think, a pretty good description of that, getting into the nitty gritty, because oh man, you can really go, you could go days on Warhammer lore. There's so much. It's a setting that's been written since like the 70s, late 70s, and it's like a product. You know what I mean? It's like lore is like the product. They publish books. So it's like go from like the late 70s to now of just making lore as like a product. There's so much. Like more than Lord of the Rings, more than Gundam, more than Magic the Gathering even. It's just like you would literally just go for days. That's why I'm like trying to keep it succinct. Preserve your mental health. I'd be happy to go into the full details. You might have to save the full Horus Heresy for another day, because that's a whole thing. Okay, so I don't think I've gotten all the silver on here, but I've gotten enough where I feel comfortable starting to like tone it down and like seeing how it goes. It's like we're looking pretty strapped in and strapped on. But it's just very bright. So what I'm gonna do, take it down a little bit. I'm gonna try. I don't know. This is the shot in the dark on this one. I'm gonna try using this rough iron from Warpaint. I'm gonna water it down a little bit so it gets really thin, and so you can kind of see through it. It's also metallic, so it should still be shiny like this one. And I'm hoping that this will tone down that brightness of the silver a little bit. And I'm just kind of slap it on everywhere so that it's a little inconsistent. Because it's metal, right? It's supposed to be like kind of used. I don't want it to be like rusty metal, because it's Sisters of Battle don't do that with their stuff. They keep it pretty clean and up to date, but like it needs to kind of still be used. So we'll see. It could end up being like a copper though, and then like I'll have to go back over it. I kind of almost wish I had like a sprue, like some plastic to test it on first, but I'm trying to see how this looks like on the palette. I think this might do it. It's a little brown, a little more brown than I think I want. But let's give it a try here. We can always just paint over it, right? Let's try it on the arm here. Let's see how this goes. I really want to thin this down too, because I do not want this to overtake. Okay, let's see. Yeah, see, I think this ended up just making it sort of like almost purple. Yeah, see, it came out. Hold on, let me take a look at this here. Yeah, kind of worn down, but not defunct. I know the camera's kind of catching the light of it a little bit more, where it's kind of looking like it looks like almost more rusted. Where I'm just trying to get it a darker tone, so I don't think this is what we want to use for it. And it's good we did it thin. Let me go grab a different paint. I'm gonna have to grab something that's like more towards like black. So I think I've got a solution. Kind of, yeah, it kind of does look like bruised looking. Okay, it's like we're trying to go for more like I think there's any way I can show it on stream conveniently, but more of like a black looking metal. I think my answer is here. We're gonna try taking coal black, which is just regular black, and adding in this metallic medium. Metallic medium is just a a sparkly medium. It's a medium, so you add it to any paint and it turns it metallic. It just has little sparkles in it. The white isn't supposed to be too harsh. You're supposed to be able to mix it into stuff. So we're basically just gonna mix these two together, and see if we can get what we're looking for. Because I do still want it to sparkle. We need it to retain its metal look. So we don't want to. If we just brush black over it, that black is gonna be matte black, which is like no sparkles or anything. So you're gonna lose a lot of the color. You're gonna lose a lot of the metal look, and then you're just gonna look like you have just like a plain black mech. Which that's not what we're gonna do. So we're gonna try mixing these on the palette here. And, oh, yeah, this is what we want. This is the color. See, this is what I thought it would be when it said gunmetal. I realized I don't have a. Okay, cool. So here's what I got instead. This is these two mixed together now. We're gonna try putting it over here instead. And I already know this is like what I'm looking for because I can see it on the thing. But there we go. So let's try that. That stuff underneath is a little harsh. We might have to do an extra coat, but there we go. That's more what we're looking for. See what I mean? The brown underneath still got a little mixed in. It's fine if we live like that because it's by the saws, so it's okay if it looks a little dirty at the end of the day. But this should be enough to tone down. You can do it a little higher up, and we'll see it probably a lot better. Oh, that's perfect. That's exactly the color we're going for. There we go. You see higher up? It still retains like its metal look, but now it's like a black metal. And that's what we're going to end up going back over with another layer. Perfect. Awesome. And then we're going to go back with the saw blades and do them a really shiny metal. And then just probably splatter a little bit of like looking blood on there. Right, yeah, medium makes things a little bit brighter and sparkly. That medium does. Specifically, the metallic medium. There's a bunch of different kinds of mediums that you can use to thin down colors in general, or thin them for an airbrush. Yeah, a medium can be a lot of different things, but specifically the metallic medium is, those two things together. A medium plus metallic. What I am worried about now is it breaking up on the in the wet palette, but so I'm gonna try and get to this kind of quickly. But no, this is looking good, especially on his gun. Look at that. I can just really brought down like the metal color. I think the camera is not capturing it fully, but yeah, it's great. It brought it. You can oh yeah, right here. That's perfect. From like here to up here where there's none. Huge difference. Subtle difference. That's what we're looking for. Now we have a nice black metal as opposed to this shiny one. It's good. This is what we're looking for. We can get his shoulders. But yeah, it's cool. Like mini painting's fun. Warhammer is pretty dang pricey because it's like the premium one, it's the one everybody knows. But they sell minis just for painting, and there's plenty of like other games that also use minis that don't have to be like, they sell minis just for painting, which I think is cool. You can also buy just other games that if you do want to play a game with me, you don't have to play Warhammer. Like there are other cool minis, or you can even 3D print. Some people will 3D print their Warhammer stuff, which I don't know, whatever you think looks cool and enjoy painting. But I enjoy the painting much more than I enjoy playing the game, which I like playing the game, but a game of Warhammer really, it takes a long time. It's like an all-day thing. So if you're gonna play Warhammer, at least especially starting out, I'm sure it gets quicker once you play more games with it, but it can take like 4 to 6 hours to play a game of Warhammer, which is like, that's your whole day, which is you Honestly, a lot of the people you talk to when you go to a place to play Warhammer, they do it like once a month. It's honestly just like a lot of like dads with like kids. I don't know if you can see the family. I mean, it's hard to get the camera in where I'm like trying to get behind him here. It's like dads with like kids, and they're just like, "Yep, this is my one time a month. My, you know, when my wife is doing a thing, so I get to come out and play Warhammer." It's pretty wholesome. The Warhammer community has been really nice, like especially in person. It gets a really bad rap online because, like, I mean, that's the thing is like with the community, especially one like this, like the people who are online are the ones who don't go out because that's why they're online. Like in Reddit and shit like that. So even though the Reddit community has still been super nice, like the weird ones always stand out. You always like, I know when I went into it, I thought it was gonna be worse. So I was like, you know, it just has a bad rap because I think previously it did, maybe in like 2015, 2016, but like there was a lot of shuffling around and a lot of like things Games Workshop sort of did to sort of like purge those like more problematic people from like the community, more or less. But yeah, I was expecting a lot worse, and I got in, and it was really friendly. Honestly, I think the Magic the Gathering community is worse than the Warhammer community, like hands down. Yeah, and I'm not this is like that's not me trying to shit on the Magic community either. Like, you know, I go out and I play Commander, you know, in public and stuff like that. Just to compare the two, it's different. It's different because people spend so much time. Because Warhammer takes so long to play versus like a couple games of Commander. People are also spending a lot of look how much time I'm spending now. I've started this like 2 hours ago. This is what I got. He's a little metal and mostly unpainted. Like, so people spend a lot of time painting their models too. So when they go out, you know, you want to show off your models, you want to be friendly with people and like be nice, be welcoming, like so that you have these people to sit there, especially if you're gonna sit across from someone for 4 hours, like playing a game. Oh yeah, no, I guess Warhammer used to have a bad rep for drawing in like a lot of like I don't know, bro-y sort of like right-wing types, I suppose. It's because of the setting, I think. A lot of people there are a lot of people who don't understand like that Warhammer is satire. And so I think they've done a good job in the last like 4 or 5 years really being like, guys, this setting, it's cool and stuff. It's satire though. We're making fun of the Imperium of Man. They're like an extreme version of fascism. Like that's the joke. But I think there were, especially like, you know, 2010 to 2016, maybe even probably even before that, there was or like starting before that, but there was a lot of people who are just like, yeah, the setting's cool and rad, and like the Imperium Man is sick, and like I like the setting because it's like everything that should be, you know. They're like unironically really like it. I think that's where a lot of the bad reputation is. There's a lot of people out there who are just like, they take the setting too seriously and they think it's kind of like God, what it kind of reminds me of Starship Troopers. Like the movie Starship Troopers is satire. It's like making fun of authoritarianism and like all, you know, the military industrial complex. But the book Starship Troopers, if you look at the author, dude wrote it unironically. He's like, nah, dude, this would be sick. It would be super cool if we lived in like the Starship Trooper universe. And I'm not gonna say that's how the writing for Warhammer is, but that's like how the community kind of was. There's still people like that out there, but they're not as prevalent as they used to be. It'd be sick and rad if we lived under the Imperium of Man, where we get to strap people we don't like to big robots to go die in war. That'd be cool. Like, it's like, no, it's a joke. It's satire. They're making fun of, which is why I like this faction so much. The Sisters of Battle absolutely crank up the satire. really well. Like, this in and of itself is fucking silly. They're just strapping a torture man to a robot and sending him out into the field with big flamethrower hands. Like, this is dumb as hell. Like, this is really stupid and hilarious. Oh, this looks so good though. This is exactly the color I was like imagining when I was like doing it up in my head. I'm glad I didn't go full send on the first color, the brown, because it wouldn't have worked. Really hitting heavy brush strokes on this. Yeah, I just like having these as little art pieces. Yeah, see, like the camera's still gonna show everything a little brighter from what it looks like here, but like you can already tell, like it is up, especially up top. It's not shiny. It's shiny as it was before, which is great, but it still looks like metal. I like that. I'm just happy with it all over. Sometimes you start putting on a paint where you think you made the right decision, and then you start like applying it everywhere, and you're like, oh, I fucked up. Like this was cool on this one little part, but as I'm pulling it and expanding it out, this looks really bad. I think like what helps is paints have come along. Apparently, like you get paints back in the day. I'd say back in the day, probably like maybe more than 5, like 10 years ago, were not as good. Paints recently have gotten really good for this too. I was surprised when I like cracked open like the paints and stuff. Acrylic paints have come a long way in the last like 10 years. As weird as that is, because you think it's like acrylic paint. It's like, I feel like that's a technology that should have been mastered a while ago, but yeah, like they come out really smooth. They're really easy to apply. They're really easy to mix. And they look really nice, especially like these metallics here and stuff like that. Like this is just like not, there were a lot of matte paints, like a lot of matte acrylics, but like they're coming out with like a lot of contrasts, which are kind of like translucent paints that go over stuff. Like they've made some strides, and it makes painting a lot easier and stuff look really nice. Yeah, crowd has gotten bad actors. Glad to hear it. 40K's gotten a little cleaner. Yeah, it's got a lot cleaner. Yeah. I might maybe go back over some spots with some of the lighter. Maybe like thin it down a lot and get some of the last color on there. Get it real thin. I want it kind of dark, but like not too dark. I'll mix it in there. Oh, perfect. There we go. Yeah, I'm basically keeping the original layer wet and then coming back in with the paint I want to mix, so it kind of all gets a little mixed together here. Yeah, because some of these parts ended up getting a little too dark. It's gonna be just a balancing act now of like trying to get everything in the right spot. These like really thin down silver. And I'm cool if it's not even, because it's like a big war mech, right? So it doesn't have to be like completely even. But yeah, there we go. Some like nice, like sort of uneven watches in there. Trying to tone it down a little bit, but still keep the metallic. Great. Yeah, look at that from here too. It's looking really nice. Like, it seems really simple, but like, I mean, got it'd be nice once we start doing a lot of these affects and stuff too. It'll really start to pop out here, but yeah, he's gonna have a lot of like gold filigree on him here once we're done. But we're definitely not finishing it. That's that. It's a process. Trust the process. So. I know it's hard to tell because the primer on there, but once we get everything sort of filled in, it is kind of just like adult color by number too. I feel like a lot of the time. I think that what people get caught up on is the like thinning the paints out and picking the right colors. Cool. Yeah, I think we do have to wrap it up here though, unfortunately for the night, because I don't have too much time left, and I would have to put down another color to keep going because we got kind of the base stuff on here. And if I put down another color, it's gonna waste a lot of paint because I'm not gonna be able to do all of like the gold. So I'd have to put down like more gold when I go to paint later, like wasting paint. So by just having to throw away a lot on the palette. But we used a lot of the palette today. Like this is what I put down, you know. Our silver here. This is our test of the rough iron, which did not work, and then the this is the mix that's going on here. So, palette, so we did okay. But we'll get him there. I mean, we got him here, right? So that'll be the. He won't look like him, but like it's a process. Trust the process is all I'm trying to show. Gets there. Trust the process. Yeah, sounds good. If you stick around, like if you're in the Discord still, you can do the exclamation mark Discord. I do at least put it up when it's in Discord. Otherwise, you'll get the notification like Twitch gives out. And at this point, I'm streaming when I feel like it. That's basically the what's going on. So if you're around at this time, you're up, see the notification, cool. If not, still cool. But yeah, I'll be on when I'm on, and I thank everybody for sticking around who watched. And yeah, I'm doing this either way. The painting is not indicative of the streaming, so like I'll just keep doing it on stream. I'm gonna paint anyway, might as well stream it. So, easy. Have a good night, y'all. Oh, you are in Discord? Cool. Yeah, I posted up in the announcements then, like when I go live, or I try to at the beginning of the stream. So you can see it there. Yeah, or get the regular notification if you're following. Yeah, you have a good night, y'all. Deuces.